In today's video, we're going to colour correct and then colour grade D-Cinelike footage from the DJI Mini 3 Pro. So we're using D-Cinelike footage from the DJI Mini 3 Pro, but if you're filming on a drone such as the Air 2S, you can also use these techniques. This uses D-Log, so it will give you an even flatter image, but you can adjust in the settings accordingly when we get onto contrast. So today I'm going to be using Final Cut Pro, but you can apply these techniques with any video editing software, and I promise it's not as hard as it looks. So there's three aspects to colour correcting. We've got the white balance, the saturation, and the exposure. So before we start, we want to make sure we've got our video scopes up. So you can do that by hitting Command and 7, or you can also go to the top corner here, click View, and Show in Viewer, make sure Video Scopes is selected. Sometimes our eyes can deceive us, so it's good to have that objective measure. The first aspect to colour correcting, which is what we do before we apply our colour grade, is the white balance. 99% of the time with the drone flights, this should be okay already as it is. It's just in that rare occurrence where maybe we forgot to change our manual white balance from a previous flight and then it looks a little bit off. So what we want to do is move across here, Colour Inspector, and then go to the Colour tab, the first tab here, and you can adjust this blue section here. Notice how that gets bluer and it gets warmer moving it down. I'm happy with how it is here, so we're going to leave that. Now, we've also got, with colour correcting, we've also got the saturation and the exposure. So my next step will be move across here to saturation and then increase that near the top. Now, in some instances, I might even want more colour, in which case you can add another colour board and just stack the saturation on top. I think in this instance that's okay, and we'll come to adjusting the colours a little bit more later when we come to the colour grade, getting more specific. So now the next tab is the exposure. D-Cinelike footage is a little bit like an elastic band that isn't fully stretched out. So what we want to do is to have one point at 100, that's our white point, okay? So move this, the highlights, move that across here just a touch there. And then also, we want 1 point just to touch with the shadows, just to touch that 0. If you notice now I've moved that, we then need to stretch that again back to 100. So there, we've got a good contrast. What's amazing about, you can then change the midtones by adding a colour curve, okay? So go across here, plus colour curves. Now, when you're filming in the middle of the day, what I'll often do is move this down. It gives it a maturer look. Notice how the 100 and the 0, they're still touching. So we're not affecting that, which is really amazing. And with this image, I'm actually fairly happy with how it is. I've probably a little bit reduced the midtones a little bit, but not too far. You can also apply, to add a little bit more contrast, an S-curve, okay? So we add another colour curve, pick a point here in the middle, and then just increase here and then decrease here. Very subtle. Maybe reduce that a little bit. You can always tweak things as you're going through. There we go, happy with that. So that's our colour correcting done now. And for submitting stock footage, I would be quite happy to submit that as it is now. Just look at the difference from how it was before. Now, to add a colour grade, my favourite way of doing that is using the hue and saturation curves, and particularly the hue versus sat. This is my favourite method of doing it. Now, this does become very subjective. What I love doing is, if you click on the dropper tool here, I personally, especially with an image like this, I love to desaturate the greens. So I'll move that right down. Gives it more like, almost like an Iceland feel to it. And I love to click the dropper again on the blues and increase the saturation on the blues. See the difference that makes. The previous image was pretty good, but now I personally, for me, I do much prefer that. So cheers for watching, guys. Of course, not just the editing, but it's important to have really exciting drone footage to start with. I've created this video with my favourite drone moves I used also on this shot, and I'll see you guys there.